Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am starting a brand new brand identity project. It is for a brand called Holly and Pine, and they are a blog that writes about like home decor and lifestyle tips for anyone that wants to achieve a rustic but elegant home. So I already pre-recorded this design process, but I wanted to explain a little bit about some things that I did beforehand, before I even started to sketch anything in my little sketchbook and then just do the design work on the computer. I have let me see here. So I have a bit of a questionnaire that I like to kind of fill out, whether it's for an actual project or a fictional project like this one, just as a way for me to streamline a little bit in terms of getting to know the company a little bit, or the business I should say, and then just getting to know what their preferences are for design. So for example, some of the questions that I have is that I wanted to know exactly what the name is that they want to appear in the logo. I like them to explain a little bit about their business and whether they offer products or services, what those are. I like to know what kind of social media they're on or would like to be on, so that the logo and branding suits those platforms. And then some other things that I like, I have a set of like this or that kind of words where I say, well, does your brand kind of identify more with this adjective or this adjective? And so I have a few of those where I just get them to pick and choose. And then at the very end, I usually just want to know, like, is there anything that has to be included in the logo design or in their brand identity design? And then is there anything that they don't want to see? So that's kind of what I did beforehand. And then the other thing that I do is, once I get all these kind of questions answered, I will go into Pinterest and I will start a secret board, and then I'll just start saving different inspiration images, whether or not it's fonts or patterns or just general lifestyle type of photos that I can imagine their client wanting to achieve with their product or service or business. And so I just save all those types of things. Sometimes there's illustration, sometimes it's photography, and so I also did that before I started to design all this stuff. So let me get started here. So Holly and Pine, as I already mentioned, is basically a home decor and lifestyle blog. They did have a bit of a logo, but it was one of those pre-made ones that they just had done on Canva or some other pre-made logo website. And so that's what's showing up on the screen right now. And so right now they just wanted to go in the direction of a bit more of a, I guess more of a custom feel. And something that was also like, the image that's on the screen of their logo isn't a vector image, so it doesn't resize well. And they wanted something that would be a better quality in case they needed it for any kind of event. I'm not too sure, but just in case. So what I started to do in my sketchbook is, from the set of questions and the answers, I just started to write down some keywords that I wanted to keep in mind while I was doing all of these designs. You can't really see very well, but one of the things was, it was a blog, it was rustic but elegant, it was simple, it was modern. Those are some of the words that I'd written down, and then I just go ahead and, based on those words, I just start sketching out ideas. The other thing that's not pictured in this video is that in front of me I actually have my Pinterest board open so that I can easily see some of my inspiration pieces and see if it actually kind of sparks some creative ideas when it comes to some designs. So I'm just playing around with different things that I had already thought of and just wanted to get it down on paper just to see how it turned out. Some things, just like these little geometric acorns, totally did not turn out the way I wanted it to, but hey, you know, I had to draw it out anyways just to see how it would turn out. You know, for this video I didn't spend too much time on this actual sketching out process, but mostly because, you know, I knew that I had to do a video around it. If I didn't have a video on it, sometimes I would spend, you know, an entire day just thinking of ideas, maybe even 2. So I actually had a bit of a technical glitch while I was doing this portion of the video. The device that I was recording on ran out of battery or of memory, so it shut off while it was in the middle of sketching this part, but we didn't miss too much. I think maybe I just, you know, did a few more ideas with some typography, and then a couple more ideas on the backside page, and then I switched over to the computer. So here I am in the computer. I'd already created my Illustrator document, and I took a photo of each of my sketches and then just AirDropped them to my computer to be able to pull them into my Illustrator file. And then I just started to go through each of the different images and recreate them as best as I could. As I finished recreating some of my sketches, then I just pulled them over to my artboard just to keep them there as things that I want to work with. I did have this idea of actually just doing an image trace on this last sketch that I did, but I didn't really like how it was turning out, and you'll see a little bit later on what I ended up doing with these little sketches that I did. For some reason I thought it would have been easier to do the little holly leaf like this using a star, but I kind of think it just would have been way easier for me to use the pen tool from the very beginning, but I had to try and I made it work. But I had another technical glitch, and although you may not have noticed it, but again, I was recording this And again, I ran out of space, and so my computer stopped recording. But I fixed it. So here I am doing just the recreation of that sketch that I had started to do at the beginning with that image trace that I didn't like. This is a pretty tedious process, this part of it, but you know, it had to be done. I wasn't about to image trace it. I thought about retracing it with some tracing paper and then just redoing that part, but I didn't really feel like doing it, so I did it this way. So once I finished doing all of the little sketches that I had done earlier, then I started to explore some typography. And so this is just me going through my list of fonts to see what I kind of liked. I know some people ask, how do you choose a font for a brand? And I mean, I just had to think back to my list and to the brief and just really think about what made sense, what felt right in terms of what they were trying to achieve. So for the most part in this, I was either looking for a serif font or a sans serif, and I didn't want anything that looked too cartoony or too informal, and had a tendency to lean towards wider fonts as opposed to narrow ones. So here I am, I pulled over a few of my favorites and I'm just starting to play around with one of them. I think this font name is called John Mayer. It is a font from Creative Market. And then I'm just playing with my little ampersand design that I had done just to try and match it as much as I could to the actual font. Now I'm probably gonna have to go in afterwards and just adjust those little pine needles because they are a little bit squished together, but you know, that's some refining at the very end. I just wanted to get the idea out there. This is another concept that I decided to switch to, and I believe that font is called Alice. It is a Google font. This is another little concept idea that I had sketched out that didn't make it to the video because my video had shut off by then. And so in the end, I ended up with 4 different logo concepts. And basically these are all of them. So I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit. Right now I am leaning towards a certain concept, but I don't want to make too many quick decisions, so I'm just gonna keep thinking about it. If you have a favorite one yourself, feel free to comment below and let me know which number you kind of prefer. But basically I'm just gonna go ahead with these ones, choose from these 4 concepts, and you'll see what I ended up with in next week's video. So next week I'm just gonna be building it out a little bit more, you know, refining the concept that I have chosen, and then I'll create some alternative logo, alternate logos for them, you know, maybe something that's a little bit more square or vertical, and then something that would work in social media and stuff like that. So I'll build that out in the next video. But until then, I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will see you again in next week's video when I build this brand out a little bit more. So until then, have a great day.